there it is.
Now we're live.
We're
That was
live!
damn near instant. No counter,
It's
no
alive. It's alive.
That's the way it works
At
now.
5.
Hey everyone, what's going on? This is Aunt Pruitt. Welcome to the weekly smartphone photographers community hangout on air. We like to call it point and shoot. We also like to try to start this at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Right now it's 9:14,
Ish.
but
9-ish.
not not so much. Thank you folks for coming out. This is the community where we get together and share tips and tricks on how to become a better smartphone photographer. Your phone has a pretty good camera on it if you didn't know that, and this group here will show you how to get the most out of that, even if it's a
Droid.
You know, you can get some good stuff out of it. And so we get together each week and go over those tips and tricks, as well as go over our challenge for the week that has a different theme every time. So just check that out. We're going to do silhouettes this go around. Some pretty good stuff to share. But before we get into everything, let's go through the panel that's joining us tonight and allow them to do a little introduction. So first up, my man, my usual, Michael King. What's happening? What are you staring at, Michael?
Oh, my hair. I'm trying to put a password in. I'm doing pretty good. Plus, I'm trying to edit photos from the 4014, or in other words, the big boy chase through Laramie to Cheyenne.
This is one of two men I know that actually chases trains, folks.
You and your big boy.
Appreciate you coming out as usual. Next up, Mr. Black on a Mac, Michael Portis.
Hello, everybody. I'm fresh from, let me see, where was I last week? Oxnard. And this week I'll be in Arroyo Grande. I'm drinking, let me see, an Imperial Stout this week.
Yes.
And this one is one from a Eugene, Oregon. I don't know how to say their name, but this is really good beer. It's a big bottle, too, so it'll be an interesting show, no less.
What does your shirt say, Mr. Portis?
It says, "Don't laugh, it's your girlfriend's shirt."
Ooh.
Ouch.
Well
Good
played,
one.
sir. Well played.
Thank you.
Appreciate you joining us this week.
Always a pleasure.
Next up, Mr. Mike Sweeney.
Hey, how's everybody doing today?
Unbelievable, sir.
We're freshly recharged back from Los Angeles for the big photo show, and learned a few cool things, saw a lot of great people, had some great classes. If you didn't take my class, you missed a lot of fun.
Oh,
cheers.
Man. And what's that you sipping on there?
This is gin and tonic,
Gin
nectar
and
of the
tonic.
gods.
Because we're not only some smartphone photographers, we're also some social alcoholic guys. We enjoy our
And snobs about it.
True.
This happens to be Fever Tree tonic with Hendrix gin and a dash of orange bitters.
Such
Very
a
played.
snob. Such a snob. Appreciate you coming out
Right.
as usual. Next up, Mr. Robert Knight.
Nah. It's okay. Hey,
He's upset that he missed
number
the
one in the
500
draft. That's all that matters.
He's upset that he missed the 500 picks lunch and learn the other day.
Yeah. I come over to his screen. He's got his room all dark, and then he just
Oh
goes,
yeah.
"Meh." Oh, way to just keep the cheerful mood, Mr. Knight.
Well, I'm on my third phone. So
Hey, whose fault's that?
Hey, you could have
Buy
just
an
got
iPhone.
You cannot keep throwing your phone up against the concrete, bro. That's not how that works.
let's see. If I got an iPhone,
It's actually fallen out of the
I
Mustang.
actually
at
do
rates of
have
speed.
one. And since 2 updates ago, when I'm using my Bluetooth headset and I go to answer the phone, guess what doesn't pick up? The Bluetooth headset. I have to answer it on the phone, then turn it, then switch it back to the audio to the headset. So, and your iMessage bug.
I don't have a problem.
I don't have.
I've got
You
5
know what,
iPhones. over
unpair
here.
and repair your
Fine.
Bluetooth. Unpaired and
repaired.
repaired.
You just got this little cloud that hangs around you, you know.
He's got bad luck. That's
I
what
got a
happens.
battery I can throw through this thing at somebody.
What is that?
It's his battery to his note.
the battery. It's the
I've got
old
iPhone
battery.
batteries here too.
It's something I'll talk about later. Something that iPhone guys can't fix. You have to replace your whole phone.
No, you
That's
don't.
true.
No, you don't.
That's true.
I've replaced mine before.
Well, we
It's
had
it's a bit like microsurgery, but you can do it.
That's not right. Well, we had Miss Deborah Walmer-Basembe joining us, but she's having
Yeah,
some,
she'll be back.
She's having
connectivity
she's saying
issues.
she's sending in the Hangouts app that she's not sure what's going on, but she's having some technical difficulties.
Yep. Hang in there, Deborah. We still got the seat warm for you.
Damn straight.
All right.
I need somebody to back me up.
Of course you do.
No,
All
you
right.
don't.
Well, let's get rolling with this here hangout, and we'll take.
But she said she's gonna go. She's giving up on the bandwidth tonight.
Yeah, we got it. I see her. Let's go ahead and get into this week's challenge that was proposed. Who proposed it last week? I don't remember. Oh, Tim McCusker, right? Yeah, Timothy McCusker. He
The
proposed
normal winner in our
a-
group.
Yeah, the normal. It's like one of 3 people here recently. He
And I think
proposed
the
a
winner this
silhouette.
week is another big time winner.
Yeah, he's won before too, right? Yep, he did.
Yep.
All right, so silhouettes. What's the layman's term way of describing silhouettes? You guys want to take a stab at that?
Silhouette.
Silhouette.
It's an underexposed picture.
Okay, well, see, Sweeney, I asked that because I think some people say shadows or silhouettes, and is that
No.
the case?
No,
That's
it's not.
the
No,
shadowed
no.
outline.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You may have a little tiny bit of detail, but it should be pretty much black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're outlining something.
Right. See, that's why I asked, as I wanted to make sure that was clarified because
Now, I'm
seen
sure our
some
art's not
people-
here to give us a better reason.
Oh, there she is, Miss Deborah.
Yeah,
Walmer.
I'm probably gonna cut out again, and if I do, I'm
Hey,
sorry.
she's got 3 arms.
Yeah, how did you get 3 arms?
It's all the workout I'm doing.
No, she's been working on Windows too much.
Oh, that's how. It's not
Do you
just
have-
3 arms.
Do you have Time Warner, Deborah?
Do I what?
Do you have Time Warner?
No, I have Verizon FiOS.
Ooh, really?
Oh, that should be
Boy,
good.
they're better than
Come on,
that.
show 'em. Come on, show them your guns. Come on, oh, come on.
Ooh,
Love it.
I'm messing with that. We do
Boy.
not wanna
And then
see
she
you in the
froze
dark alley.
again. That's all right. Well, she froze again. We'll come back to her. Let me do a little screen share and we'll take a look at some of the shots in here from the week. If I don't do a massive recursion here.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ant.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the other podcasts and hangouts I've been in, we run really loose around here.
You think? You think? It's all good though.
What's wrong with that?
All
Not a
right, so
damn thing.
Here are the shots here, and I want to take a look at a few of them. Let's start with this one. All right. Again, the theme was silhouettes, shooting silhouettes.
Yeah, it's not a silhouette.
Okay. That was why I asked the question to start this out.
Sorry,
Because
Michael.
I see
Not a
shadows. All right. And why is it not a silhouette, Sweeney?
It's not a silhouette of anything.
Now that's a light. Like, what would you say? I think that's like a casting light, or that's like a.
It's shadows. It's a
Yeah.
shadow.
Yeah.
You're casting shadows.
Okay. All right. So that I just wanted to point that out and get that clear.
It's not
That
a
would-
silhouette because a silhouette I would think of something black out, but I can make out what it is.
Right. And
That's
when
not. That wasn't showing me something blacked out that I could make out what it is.
No, we've got several nice silhouettes there.
Yeah, we do. We do. We have quite a few in there. But like I said, some of them popped up and I'm like, that don't look right to me, but maybe I have the wrong definition of silhouette. But,
One good way, one easy way probably to think of a silhouette is think about somebody walking towards you. The bright sun is directly behind them, and the farther away they are from you, they just look like an outline. But you
Mhm.
know it's a person or it's someone walking towards you.
Yes.
And
So-
as they get closer, you see more details.
So here's the actual definition. Noun, an outline that appears dark against a light background.
Wait, I gotta put my glasses on for that.
Wait a minute. You getting ready to read to us?
Already read. Did you miss it?
No, I thought Portis is gonna read. He pulled out his glasses and.
I'm not gonna read. I'm just gonna. That was very studious, so I need to, rise to the occasion. We already had this discussion.
Oh, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Lesson learned.
This is
Well,
all
I there's been some question about the veracity of our comments before. Ooh, you like that word, veracity? Look it up.
Veracity. Yes.
Oh man,
like I said, very next level. The doctor.
this is getting out of hand. All these high-polluted words.
Highfalutin words.
Love it. All right. Well, let's get to this one here. This is from my man over in Is he in the UK? Edwin Botsline?
Yes.
Still not a silhouette.
Still not a
It's
silhouette.
closer than the other one is, though. to
Yes,
me.
but it's not a silhouette.
If the
Alright.
sun had been behind the ring, so they were blacked out, yes.
Then you'd have a silhouette.
Yeah, I think that's what changes it for me. It's the presence of the very distinct colors of the Olympic rings. Edwin, if you had simply just waited till the sun moved maybe like an hour later, or changed your angle and shot it from the other way so that sun is directly shining behind it, I know that sometimes it would cause like a lens flare, but I think that that's a more
Nah,
true.
He couldn't have changed the sun behind it. Look how the sun's hitting the inside ring. The rings were perpendicular to the sun.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So he
need to
would,
come back half a day later, basically.
yeah, he would have either had done something different, or he could have had some fun by walking up to the rings a little closer and shooting them in profile against the sun.
Nice. I can see that.
So, look in front, but always look behind when you take pictures. That means thinking out of the box a bit.
Just a wee bit. All right. Now, this one here, Stephen Dainty.
Now that's a silhouette.
Yes. And
Doesn't
this is
do much for me,
He's an
but
iPhone, right? Yeah, he's a 4S guy. Oh, and he did his editing in Google Plus, it looks like. Are you guys using that editor at all?
Nope.
Nope.
Not at all.
No.
I know it does a lot of the auto enhance stuff in there that tends to make things look a little blown out. But
A little blown out. Wait, did you say a little?
Yeah.
Yeah, level.
I turned that stuff off.
I think with this one, what bothers me
Mhm.
is I don't like the right side of the building or wall or whatever that is. He's
Black?
got all the he's got all this cool detail along the roof line, and then it just kind of dies off.
Right there.
Yeah.
If he would have just cropped
So we should
from one, crop from that one.
Or change an angle slightly.
Hmm.
I kind of think I know what he was trying to do. I mean, you could use that to play with the diagonal to push you towards the center of the image, but not quite the way it is right now.
Do you think he was trying to get a specific focal point or something? Because
I
of
think
the
so.
stuff on the
I mean,
roof?
it'd be nice if, Stephen, could you add some comments about what you're trying to do with the picture, so we're not, Monday morning quarterbacking your picture?
That's what we specialize in here. Monday morning.
quarterbacking.
all three of the Michaels, of course. Definitely. Definitely a silhouette, though. All right, so we'll get into some of our top vote getters. I believe it's this one here. That one. All right, you see that? Okay.
That's a classic.
Why is my screen flickering? There we go. It's not flickering anymore. And this is from Mr. Fenderly. It doesn't show what he used here.
Now, this is cool because he actually got the background correctly exposed, which gave him a really nice, clean silhouette.
Sharp line basically around it. Is that what you're saying?
Sharp enough.
Not like that.
Oh shoot!
Now now is there anything you guys would have done differently with this one? Robert?
No, I can't say there's much I would have done differently. The bird does attract my attention, which is what I believe he was aiming for.
Yep.
Um,
I know what I do.
maybe could have brought the top down, cropped it down a little bit more. maybe, but the only other outlier that kind of detracts, at least to the eye when I look at it and really study it, is over on the left side. You have that little chimney-like thing. And I would have maybe cropped away from that, maybe try to get that out, because the other things seem so symmetrical.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
But
so
otherwise, I'm kind of
yeah, I think Robert's going the same direction I'm going, except I'd be a little more aggressive about it. I would take the crop right. Let's see, how can I? Okay, so you go above the chimney, and there's a little tiny lip that starts. Go down, down, one more, right there. I'd crop straight across and get rid of all that bottom stuff. And then I would straighten out where the bird's sitting so it doesn't look like he's sliding off to the right. Yeah, I would straighten that because that kind of bugs me.
Mm-hmm. Didn't notice that.
How do you know it didn't take a torpedo and it's sinking?
That's a good eye.
But I think those two and with the square crop, if he had some more sky to play with on top, would look really cool.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Portis and King? Thoughts?
I like this photo. I'm not big on birds. We've discussed this before.
Oh yeah.
But it is a very nice silhouette. The only thing, it seems like the bird is sitting on gold, kind of. So I don't know quite what he was doing with the color, but I'm thinking that he might have done some human saturation changes, maybe to really bring out that black there and get rid of some of the details. But nice photo.
Yeah.
So you don't like birds and you don't like flowers.
I don't like birds, flowers, or ants.
Do you like bees?
Oh, cuz.
Okay, wait.
Whoa! You don't like ants? Well, who's?
Ants as in the little crawly things, and I have a very legitimate reason. I will share.
Yeah, well,
with
that's not our ant because he doesn't crawl.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
We got
That's
that
right.
clear,
He
too,
doesn't get on
right?
the stomach at all.
I will clarify that off air. Why? I have a legitimate reason.
Damn you, Sweeney.
What?
I love birds because I have a blue and gold macaw here.
Of course you do. Makes perfect sense.
I love birds because they make good eating.
All right, so now let's take a look at this one here. It didn't get as many votes, but I like it before we get to the winner shot. This is another one from Steve.
That one's cool.
I would have cut this off
Right.
just a little more right there, possibly.
Yep, that's the only complaint I have with it. Even though I like it,
Yeah.
it just he
No.
could have cut it off a little bit.
I got one more
All right, let's hear it.
line.
Go ahead.
He's got such
This is really
cool.
good stuff.
He's got such cool colors in the sky there.
Yeah.
I would have taken the intensity and bumped it up a couple notches. Really punch up the blues and the orange and yellows and got some cool going on up there. It would have contrasted really well with the black.
I think he looks like he pushed it about as far as he could because it starts to get a little lazy.
Nah, you can push it more.
Push it more. Push it more.
Push it.
What
Push
was
it.
editing with
What's that, Robert?
an iPhoto Touch? Okay. Is that on the phone itself or
Yes.
device?
Yeah, iPhoto. It's the iPhoto for iOS.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
and I'll tell you something, Stephen. My opinion on iPhoto, it makes a damn nice product. Damn is in digital access or digital. I can't even think right now. Anyways, it manages your pictures really well. Asset, that's what the word I'm thinking. Digital asset management. But
Right.
the editor on iPhoto is mediocre at best.
Mm.
Mike, what do you feel about the Photoshop editor for the iOS?
Which one?
A Touch specifically.
Touch is good. I'm pretty happy with Adobe Photoshop Touch.
Yes,
Photoshop Express stinks.
absolutely, it's garbage.
No, that's
So-
Garbage.
Well, what makes Express worse than
Express is okay. To put it in layman's terms, Express is to Photoshop like Paint is to GIMP.
Oh wow, it's that bad?
Yeah, it's that bad.
no, it's not that bad. It's worse.
It's worse. Photoshop Express was Adobe's first crack at an iOS editing app,
Right.
and it really is rank. Touch, on the other hand, they took what they do best with Photoshop, and they distilled it down into something that actually works incredibly well in iOS.
And at
On the
first,
phone, the phone's a little tough because you got the small screen.
yeah.
Right. Right.
But on the iPad, I carry my iPad, my iPhone. I use my iPad for editing with touch, and I don't need my laptop.
Yeah,
Truthfully.
no. I remember the first year that they rolled out Photoshop Touch. I sat with some Adobe people at iWorld, and I just ripped him a new one. I said, this is garbage. Everything I know about Photoshop, I was expecting to bring it to the Touch. And
Yeah.
then the very next year, they really went in and spent a lot of time with a lot of designers and mobile editors and said, okay, look, how do we translate what you guys do with a mouse and a clicker to a touch-based interface? And I think they did an absolutely
They did a bang-up
wonderful
job.
So it sounds like
Yeah.
Photoshop Express was their pilot.
But yeah, they tried with photo. What? is in-
Oh, so now you're drinking it straight out of the jug?
What kind of podcast are we on
I'm
right now?
sorry, that was just
Hey,
water. I
I'll
feel
go
like
get my.
crap.
I will go get my.
Borderline
teeth and
alcoholic about that.
That is water.
wig. I will get the teeth and wig if
You know
that's
what?
what we're doing.
Moonshine's awfully clear and comes in a plastic jug like that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
am in the
moonshine,
South,
Jack.
too.
You are in the South.
Y'all are not right.
Hey,
Let's-
we're
let's
not the ones
get on-
drinking out of the jug on the camera, you know?
You had to, in order to make that work, you had to lock focus on somebody else, and then
I thought I did, damn it.
yeah, drink away, my friend, drink away.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the winning
Oh,
shot
that's
from
funny.
yet again the same guy, Mr. Fenderly. Beautiful. He's got the silhouette of this one person here, but I think all of the other elements in this shot is what did it for me.
You know what? I didn't vote for this one.
Because
I have a
it-
question. Is
silhouette
this
or
technically
why?
a silhouette? 'Cause-
It's a silhouette, but I didn't vote for it for one reason, and I don't want to offend you, Mr. Fenderly, but
that
it's
hot spot
trite.
in the middle of the screen.
No, it's trite. The guy with the fishing pole has been shot so many times, and from this way,
Yeah.
that it's trite.
I got you.
I mean, he's got the idea. I mean, he's got a gorgeous sky and water to play with. I just wish he would have done something a little different with the silhouette himself.
Hmm. What if he was?
What if he did? What could he have done differently though?
Different
Because,
angle, shoot up, shoot down. You know,
but he
but-
would
but-
lose that
Sure
gorgeous.
enough, you'd lose that
Although-
background.
I
The hot
sincerely doubt it. I'd bet $1 if I'd been there, I could have found a different angle. And it would
Well,
have
see,
worked
the
just as
problem
well.
with this photo for me is that all I see is that hot spot in the center. I don't see anything else in this photo but that damn hot spot of the sun
Yes.
directly in the center of the photo. I mean, it's a gorgeous photo. Do not get me wrong.
Isn't that where it should be, though?
It clearly, I think that's where it should be, but it's so strong and
No.
powerful
No.
that, well, or that or off to the side, one of the two.
Yes.
I don't
Remember
think that-
my belly aching about dead center?
Yeah, I think that, and if you look at the photo, because it is a square crop, and I think that's part of his problem. On top of it, go 16:9, buddy, or go home.
Oh, you and that.
No,
bias game.
no.
It's
You know, those of us that shot Hasselblads, grew up on square crops. It's just something you get used to, and you work around it.
But
16:9's a crutch.
I
It's a
like
crutch for anybody who can't crop.
it's a.
Oh, they're fighting words.
Oh, let me take another sip.
I'm sure I can get the email over that one.
And for you people, it's Mike Sweeney at MSU.
Should I put up a little signs?
It's his email address, everybody.
You the angry.
And just subject line hashtag we love the 16:9.
right.
Every
All right. You want to do that? We'll get the hashtag going. Square crop is cool. There you go.
Mr. Knight, what are your thoughts on this thing?
He's just enjoying the show.
Yeah. I like it. I did vote for it. One of the things in looking at it that I would have done a little bit more of, and if I was to keep everything the same where it is right now, the one adjustment I would have done was I would have pushed the contrast even more.
You
so
think
that the buildings in the depth, I want those black.
They look well from what I'm seeing. They look pretty black right now. Do they not look that black for?
Oh no, there's some lighter
No, you can make out windows and
Okay.
stuff. I want those
Alright.
to just look like
Completely
complete
blacked out.
silhouettes.
Yeah.
So I would have pushed the contrast. I would have had to use Snapseed in this case, but
Do a little
in
selective.
in those areas, in those select areas, push the contrast a little bit harder to blacken those out. The only catch would be that boat that's down in that corner.
Oh, this
where
one?
it's reflecting, where the light's reflecting off.
Yeah.
That could be hard to get rid of unless you crop it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
but cropping it out would make it. I don't know.
You know what would have been interesting to play with this picture, and this is just me thinking out loud, is tape a neutral density over the camera so you get a nice long exposure on the water and smooth it out. You know, you get
don't
that
like
kind of
having the
glow
texture?
looking.
You
Well,
like having the
you-
ripple textures there?
I like it well enough. I'm just kind of thinking what a smooth kind of foggy water would look like with those cool reflections on it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing again with that hotspot. It's like a line of a hotspot right at the center of the photo, because that hotspot there, in Mr. Finley.
Hey,
I
Mr.
love your
Finderly,
photo.
did you use HDR on this? I'm curious. So
Let's take a look. See.
Yeah, look at the photo
Does
detail.
not look like it. No.
yeah, it doesn't say. Yeah, I'd be interested to know if you shot this with HDR or not.
When you guys do HDR on the iPhone, does it change the file name to include HDR?
No,
No.
No, I don't think so.
no, it doesn't.
No, and then also depending upon
Although,
what editor
well,
you're trying to do.
now let's
Good.
let's back up. Let's back up a second here. I won't speak to the droids because I don't know them yet.
All right.
But in iOS, if you use something like EXIF Wizard, which pulls up a lot more data than what the Google information is,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the apps will
Yes.
tag themselves as edited by, or it just gives the name.
Yeah.
Pro HDR will show up in some of my images if I let it do all the editing, but it will never show up on the Google information bar, only if I use a full EXIF dump.
Right.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a little tidbit there.
All right, gentlemen, I'm going to do something out of the norm.
Leave.
And I actually.
Got it?
This is why I don't.
We call that a layup.
Yeah. I just set it up on a nice silver platter. I actually uploaded late into the community, and it's a silhouette, so it fits in. I would like to know from the group because I think I didn't really know what a silhouette was in the beginning of the week. I want to know how close I would have gotten to an actual silhouette.
You've already pushed it out there?
You got
It's
something?
just in the general discussion for the community.
Oh, okay. Let me look here and I'll pull it up. General discussion.
Gotta go make people look stuff
There
up.
it is. I see it.
Yeah,
That was very close.
you gotta be careful, Michael. We're kind of quick on the uptake around here. When you
I
set
know.
something like
That's why
that
I
up.
like
You guys see that?
That's actually pretty doggone good. You're a little too light on seeing the people, but
It's
actually,
close.
yeah, it's very close.
See, on my screen it shows, the 6 on the back of, and all.
Yeah.
This is my stepdaughter's.
I see this.
Yeah,
Picture.
Morgan Stanley, 12, 10, 1, 6, and 5 in the corner.
Those
Yeah.
are a little light.
Well, a little Snapseed selective adjustment would fix that.
Oh yeah, he has it pretty close, but no cigar.
Nah, he's got
Yeah.
half a cigar there.
It's
He's got half.
and the reason, honestly,
Well,
guys,
maybe a quarter of
to
a
be
cigar.
completely candid, I didn't upload a silhouette this week because I really, and I appreciate you asking at the beginning of the show what is really a silhouette, because I was like, well, is it like just black lined people where you can't see any detail
Right.
and there's a really pretty background? What really is a silhouette? So I wanted to take the opportunity to upload something that I felt was close to it,
Mhm.
have you guys look at it, and then let other people because a lot of people take these kind of photos
Yes.
and
The-
think,
the-
oh,
the
it's a
semi-silhouette.
beautiful silhouette. And this was I left the exit the location on this one because it was just taken in a public park after one of our games. But yeah, this is I just they were having their after game powwow, so I just snapped a picture of them.
I like it.
Not bad for a beginner.
Just you think you could do some more to it, Portis?
So, what would Mike specifically? What would you do to this photo to make it more silhouette-y? Because this is what I got from my.
Okay,
shot it.
so one thing you're going to be fighting is the sun's a little low for this thing, but I would do a two-pronged attack. I would drop it in the Snapseed, do selective adjustment to pull the contrast or the exposure for the silhouette, save it out, and then drop it back in the Snapseed, and then pull up the skyline with another selective adjustment.
So you would use. My question, I guess, is there a way to kind of get this within the camera, or I'm definitely going to have to do some post-processing on this?
If you're if it was light enough, the problem he's fighting is the sun is so low and the sky's already dark.
Right.
I think if you had a little more sunlight, there would have been enough contrast between the two.
So
I'm
when
not sure he has enough right now.
So somebody's out in the field. Our official suggestion is to kind of take a silhouette when the sun's higher in the sky, so earlier in the day.
To do a classic silhouette, you need a bright light source.
Okay.
Now, whether that's a headlight behind somebody or the sun behind somebody, you need a bright light source to get that contrast between your subject and the background. I mean, you could do a silhouette with a flashlight for that matter. I mean, as long as you got the bright outline of your subject and the subject was dark, you have a silhouette.
Now, how do you avoid in a silhouette? Because a lot of times you'll get like a lens flare kind of action going. How do you avoid that specifically? Because that's why I waited till the end of the day, I think. It's called
editing.
Editing.
I mean, most silhouettes are editing. You get the basic silhouette shooting, but you almost always have to pull it around in your editor to some degree to really get it nice and clean.
Okay. That makes sense. And
not fear the edit.
Yeah, don't fear the editing. You know, one of the things that we as smart photographers fight constantly is the fact that our cameras are basically an average exposure. So it's taking both the bright and the dark and trying to figure out a middle ground. We can get around it to some degree, but ultimately it's an average exposure. This is a little different than a DSLR where you can actually go for a spot exposure reading, where you can say, expose the sky in this little tiny dot and exclude everything else.
Now, some of the but what, like, say I used I think I used Camera Plus when I shot this.
Yeah, Pro Camera might have worked on that.
When I'm going in and doing a specific spot exposure, I could have darkened and lightened it because.
Yeah, but you're still playing with an average exposure. I don't think you'll get the range that you really need.
Well, on Camera Plus, what I've noticed and been playing with lately is once you tap and separate the exposure out, there's an extra exposure button down in the lower left-hand corner that you can actually adjust the exposure.
Like a compensation almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, maybe. Digital film is cheap, so shoot away.
Exactly. But hard drive space is precious. I found that out.
It's cheap.
Wow.
The cloud. Which cloud? Pick a cloud.
Pick a cloud.
And pray your cloud doesn't rain.
Exactly. All right. So congratulations to Mr. Fenderly for winning this week's challenge. You will be pinged to set up a new challenge for this coming week. And hopefully, with it being a holiday week here in the U.S., we'll be able to get more people out and about and taking some more shots based on the challenge. But we'll see. Even though we did get a crap ton of participation for this one. So
I like that. A crap ton?
Yeah, a crap ton.
That's
nice precise measurement.
I
Remember
appreciate
what I
it.
said about how loose we run this thing?
No comment.
That, gentlemen, is why we have that 18+ rating there. We drink
That's right,
alcohol.
that's
We
right.
say things like crap ton.
Oh,
Mike, wait, is Mike Sweeney actually enjoying a beer? Mike King actually enjoying a beer right now?
Is
Yeah,
he
it
really?
looks like it. I don't-
Holy! I've never seen him drink a beer.
Either that or it's
What kind?
you know,
Wait,
hard
what
cider.
kind?
it
Spin the
might be
label.
root beer.
What is that?
Right,
Spin the-
product placement. Let's see the product placement.
Not a sponsor, by
Sam
the way.
Adams.
Mm,
Oh,
here we go. Welcome to the
Yes.
club, Mr. King.
This is a fist bump for you, Mr. King.
See what you've driven him to, Michael?
Hey, as long as we get him to drink, he'll be half decent.
I'm normally not a beer drinker. You don't normally see it. I always have about 2 or 3 margaritas at dinner time.
Yeah, we know you're a margarita guy.
Just a slight difference there. All right. Anyway, I wanted to take a look at Mr. Timothy McCusker again. He was looking at going from his Galaxy over to an iPhone. Was it an iPhone?
Yay!
He was looking at it. Now, look, aside from all of your fanboyism stuff, he's got 2 shots.
Fanboy?
He's got 2 shots. Okay. No, you're not a fanboy, Sweeney. I'm not too sure about them other ones, though.
I'm a fanboy. It's in the name A Black on a Mac.
Yeah,
I'm a fanboy.
he says it quite clearly there. Jeez. But no, I want to look at these because he took one with his Android and he took one with the iPhone, and he asked us to take a look and compare and share our thoughts.
Put 'em up.
Me
Now, wait,
personally,
Just
I
for
found
clarification, real quick, does he normally shoot on the Android or does he shoot on? Because there is a learning. I found there is a learning curve.
Yeah, he's normally on the Android, and he's looking to make the jump from Android to iPhone, but he's just trying to justify why, kind of thing, basically.
Yeah, there is a learning curve because I feel I do have a lot of clients that use both. The camera settings and getting to learn the camera does take a little bit of time.
Right.
So let's look at it.
All right, so here we go. Now, this is the Galaxy S4, no edits, straight out the camera. All right.
With a blown out highlight.
Next one is the iPhone 5, straight out the camera. No
quite as blown out.
Well, my first question is, did he use the HDR setting?
Nah, I already asked that. I don't think he's answered it yet. No, he hasn't.
Doesn't look like it on there. It's like I said, with Android, most of the time it tags it HDR.
No, not the S4.
Not the S4?
No, the other thing I noticed.
The Samsung camera does not, when you use HDR, does not tag it HDR. It just gives it a normal name.
Oh, really?
And
That's
if
weird.
he's using the straight camera app, even if he had it set to HDR, with that light, a lot of times HDR will not take, will not come on. It wants to use the regular camera a lot of times.
No, on the Samsung, on our cameras, and if we set it to HDR, it's HDR.
It's HDR.
But on the app on the iPhone, you set it to HDR. If you don't have enough light,
No, you can set it hard on HDR. If you leave it on auto, you're right, but you can put it on HDR. I do it all the time.
Go back. Hold on. I can tell you if you shot it HDR or not. Give me just a second.
But
Let me look
I
at
don't
this.
think he did because the trees and the skyline are blurred.
Blurred, yeah.
Yeah, it's not HDR. It's regular shot.
And he's saying he's got a 1 second exposure. That's a long exposure.
Yeah.
1 second with a bright sky like that?
Well, that's probably why it's so blown out.
Possibly.
That
Now,
means
Mike,
he has some other
wait,
manual
wait.
adjustments going on.
Go back for a second. It says iPhone 5. Is it an iPhone 5, a 5C, or
Yeah,
5S?
there's a big difference between the 5 and the 5S.
and the 5C.
Camera standpoint,
There's a
you mean?
difference between a 5, a 5C, and a 5S.
Yeah,
It's
if he's got a 5, he's basically shooting with a 4S.
Yeah, and which is pretty much the same camera as in the S4, isn't it?
No.
Don't know.
No.
They're kind of sit close to it. There's just, of course, different hardware. I mean, different software.
What's that, Robert?
The S4 actually just has just a few more megapixels to play with as far as camera goes, I believe.
Yeah, but megapixels are only part of the story. Everybody forgets that.
And the sensor is also different, I believe, as well.
Right.
Yeah, because I know the 5 has a 8 megapixel camera.
Well, so is the 5S. It's just the pixels are slightly spread apart.
That also they have a different lens and everything, and a little different
Yeah.
sensor.
You're talking minute differences.
When I looked at
And you can compare the two, but one of the things that you're going to run into, even when comparing these two, is it's not just the camera lenses themselves; it's the processing software that's processing that picture.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Samsung
That's where
phones tend to process color very, very richly.
by
Not
default.
Yeah, not very. And if you go in the HDR mode, it can be even more intense depending upon the color saturation. If you have a heavy red or a heavy yellow, I find that it really intensifies those a lot.
Yeah,
that
then
would
couple
piss
that
me
with
off.
the hardware itself, the CPU itself.
Now,
No, not so much. I mean,
iPhone, what I'm seeing is it's less saturated
yes.
on the iPhone shot itself. It's less saturated than the Samsung shot. So you're dealing with just a lot of how each one is processing the color bands.
Now, the thing about the 5S I've learned is while it's got the 64-bit processor and it's faster and all that crap, the JPEG algorithm they're using on the 5S more heavily compresses the JPEG than the 4S did. I had more latitude to adjust my JPEGs on the 4S than I have on the 5S,
Well,
which is really annoying.
yeah.
Interesting.
And
Well,
that's actually, in my classes I taught this last weekend, I hammered on that point incessantly, telling people to find some type of app that lets you shoot either your choice of JPEG or, better yet, an uncompressed TIFF.
Now, what's this class you're talking about? I know you said you went to LA. What is this class you're talking about, Sweeney?
So I've actually put together an entire class, and I'm teaching it again this weekend, on iPhone photography. I take you from the beginning of iPhone photography all the way up through asset management, security as far as letting your EXIF data get out in the wild, your metadata, and some post-processing, enough to get you going, and everything in between. So the whole intent is for you to be able to pick up your iPhone and actually use it as a replacement for your normal pocket camera and get away with it and getting some good pictures in the process. And the reason I'm getting the S4 is I'm getting a lot of questions from Droid users.
Ooh, ow, 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 ow.
Oh, sorry, that was me. Sorry.
Yeah, who really want the same information and they don't believe that an iPhone-based class could actually help them with their Droid. So I'm going to bring a Droid into the mix. I'm going to get this S4, and I'm going to add a few slides to it, and basically advertise it as a smartphone photography class.
Right.
And that way I can cover everybody and keep everybody more or less happy.
Well, Mike, have you considered grabbing iPods? Because I think that's a pretty prevalent camera, unfortunately.
What's that?
An
What's
iPod?
An iPod?
An iPod Touch specifically. I know.
The camera's about 3 levels behind.
Yeah, I think it's a 4S camera.
It's the equivalent to a 4.
I think it's a 4 or 4S camera in that thing.
No, it's a 4.
Except for the front,
A 4.
Camera.
Yeah.
The front camera was actually pretty nice.
No, it wasn't. They all suck.
They also even on Windows, their front camera on that Lumia 1020, front camera is decent. It's that rear camera. That's
the whole funny thing about this whole selfie craze. Everybody taking these damn selfies with the worst camera that your phone's got.
No, I take it with the back camera.
Oh, you do?
I take
Corliss is a pro at it. So
Turn around and do it right, huh?
Exactly.
He doesn't like a lot of them. He gets in front of a mirror and takes a picture.
No, I have an iPhone. We weren't discussing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. You and your pole.
I got a pole.
You and your 20-foot pole.
Now, Sweeney, let me ask
That's
you.
right. It turns out size matters after all.
Exactly.
Oh God.
That's why I use a wide angle lens.
I thought you needed a micro. I thought you need a micro lens for yours.
Oh Lord. Let me
show
mute y'all.
All of a sudden.
I'm glad to mute y'all. Jeez. Sweet. in this class.
He started it with that pink shirt of his.
See him trying to rein us in.
We've
Oh,
lost it.
God.
We've lost it.
All right, Puff.
I think Moses lost Robert completely.
Yeah, he's gone.
You know, when the Mac Mom is around, we're not normally like this, everybody.
Yeah,
We
we're
are
worse.
very respectful.
In other words.
Right now, no. That's what happens
Melissa's
when
fault.
parents are out of the room.
That's right. Shouldn't let the kids play.
Let me ask you a question about your class.
Yes, sir.
So you're going over the materials and sharing all of these tips and tricks and so forth. What kind of questions do you get from the people that are attending your class? What are like the two top common questions you get?
Surprisingly, with the iPhone, the biggest comment I heard is they didn't know they could split the focus and the exposure by using an application.
Mm-hmm.
And I happen to be a fan of Pro Camera, so as soon as I would show them how they could split, it was like, oh my God. And then when I actually started dragging the exposure around and you could see the screen go light to dark, I mean, you know, jaws dropped, eyeballs opened up, you know, the heavens opened and God sang. So
The angels sing.
The Beatles.
that was probably the biggest surprise that most people had in the class. The second thing would have been the fact that you could actually change what your file being saved is from a JPEG to a TIFF, and that there were actually differences between the JPEG saves between applications. You know, I don't think people fully appreciate that a smartphone like my iPhone or even your Droids, the hardware's there, but the hardware is a commodity. It's really the software that makes these things play. And as time goes on, the authors of software are getting better and better and better at working with the hardware, and they're getting much more sophisticated about what they can do with the hardware. And we're starting to see that now with some of the editing apps that are showing up.
Yeah.
You know, people don't appreciate the power of software.
Well, software is king, in my opinion. You really can
Nowadays.
have a subpar camera, and well, I mean, that's why Instagram is so prevalent and so popular, because the pictures aren't necessarily great, but what people think they can do with the photos is the secret sauce.
Well, just
I actually have a slide that's titled "Post-processing is not Instagram filters."
Exactly.
You know,
yeah. Well,
seem
just
to
like
think that if I put a filter on, I've done post-processing.
but, you know, just like the HTC One, the updated one, they still don't have the greatest camera in it, but they've improved its software, so the photos are looking a lot better.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, a lot of times I think people get lost within the whole gadgetitis and the hardware argument, and they're forgetting that it really comes down to software.
Right. And it's really not only it comes down to such a level with the software. It's, look, what kind of software are you most comfortable with? I'm an Apple guy.
Amen to that.
But hey, you may enjoy the way the Android software allows you to manipulate this, that, and whatever. So hey, get an Android phone. You're going to be able to take great pictures regardless.
Yeah.
It really comes down to what you are
Maybe.
most comfortable with.
Your own strengths.
So one thing I try to impress upon people in the class is your smartphone. Your smartphone, I don't care what brand you have, it's a box with a hole in it.
Right, and it's only
Ultimately, that's all it is. I mean, ultimately, it comes down to you. You drive the boat. You
Right.
make the software work. You pick what to use, and you decide how you want to do it.
Right.
You know, the camera lens doesn't do that. You know, everything else is you know, user error. Yeah. Well, it's not even so much error. It's just I hate using the word ignorance, but they're not educated to what the phone can actually do. You know,
I
even
think
at the
ignorance
show.
is fair. I think ignorance is fair.
Ignorance is fair, yeah.
If you don't
There's
know,
a
you don't
connotation.
know.
There's a connotation to ignorance I don't like.
Mhm.
You know,
Naive-
I prefer to think they're not educated about it.
It's
Here's
naive.
my take on people in their smartphones. Majority of the people that have a smartphone use about 10% of it. And that's the
If
10% that
that.
they understand right on the top level. They understood what a PDA was, so they know they can put their appointments and stuff in there.
Right.
They know
The
they can
calendar.
snap a picture with it real quick. They can text. They can make a phone call. They can type up a very quick email. But that's all they think it's good for. They don't open up the whole toolbox to use it
Well,
for
okay.
everything that
And
is
using that
potentially
metaphor,
good.
let me ask you a question, Robert. When you buy an iPhone, there is no manual with the phone. Apple,
Right.
Apple's got this whole mystique that you don't need a manual, which is much
Yeah.
crap. But
I can tell you from experience when I got the iPhone that I got that work supplied me with.
yeah.
First thing I was like, how the heck? Okay,
That's
how do you
not
uninstall
true.
an app?
What do you mean
Okay.
that's not true,
And-
Mike?
That's not true. Every single Apple device does come with a manual. In order to get the manual, you must make sure that iBook is installed.
Oh,
And
bullshit.
once iBook is installed,
People are
no,
not going to do that.
Stop.
And I'm telling you, I stood in front of 700 people, and they're not going to do that.
yeah,
You
exactly.
don't know how many people I
know-
talk to on a daily basis that can't uninstall the app from either an Android phone or even an iPhone. They don't even know where to get the apps from. I'm like,
They
go to
don't
your
even
app
know
store.
how to quit
Where's
it.
that at?
I understand. I agree with you. The simplest of things, like a lot of times when I'm with a client, they're like, "My phone is running slow. What can I do?" And I literally do
Start
the app.
killing apps.
I spent 10 minutes
yeah.
clearing apps. Like this is why
now,
your
but,
phone
but,
is
but
slow.
see, now this points to an information gap, and the gap is this: all of us yakking right now, we're geeks. We're
Yes,
geeks
we are.
about the phones. We're generally geeks in life. We look at this and we play with it. We goof around with it. We're naturally curious about it. The average user, they can't be bothered. They don't want to be bothered, and they shouldn't have to be bothered. They want to be able to pick this thing up and just use it.
Make a call.
And so
for Christ's sake.
and to expect them to go find iBooks or whatever to read a manual is unreasonable at best.
I think that's a shortcoming on the retailer side. Here in America, this is how a cell phone purchase works. We go to a specific carrier, we say, please can we have this phone? Hopefully they have it. And that's at the end of that transaction, nobody's there to say, hey, this is how you use your phone. If retailers would just take 10 seconds and say, okay, here's your new iPhone. And I will tell you first and foremost, having sat through Genius Bar set up appointments, they don't even do a good job there.
Nope.
Give
they
somebody
don't.
a
They
3
really
second, hey, this is how you start, this is how you turn it on, this is how you get your email, this is how, heaven forbid, you turn off an app. If you just spent the time to tell people how you do that, half of the problems would be solved. With an iPhone user, learn how to turn off your apps.
And
That's
see,
my
this is why
Okay.
in my class, I literally start with, here's the camera app, and this is how you use it.
right.
Because most people never learned how to use their point and shoot right, much less translate it into what the iPhone or the Droid's all about.
Exactly. As somebody who bought a Nikon, Nikon does a great. They have a nice little CD you can pop in your DVD player.
Nobody plays.
I do not have time for that. I do not have time. I will run and gun until I figure it out. And there's a value in that, but these companies need to take a point in time and say, hey, look, especially you, Apple, I'm talking directly to you as a fanboy. You guys have the most popular camera on the planet. Please take it, even put it on your website. Hey, this is how you use the damn thing.
Yeah.
Actually, they would do better with a couple of short little video tutorials that would step them through the phone.
Because 9 times out of 10, when people go to buy an iPhone, they see these absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous commercials that Apple puts out
Without a doubt.
about all these things. They get their phone and
That
they're
the
like,
average human has no chance of replicating.
this is
Yeah.
correct.
There's an ad for that.
Well,
There's an ad
like,
for that. You can
My
do
favorite
this.
one is the new one where the dad is filming the son like trouncing through.
Oh,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
blocks.
That's so cool.
Hey, guess what, Apple? None of us even know how to slide over to slow motion half the damn time because I've
Yeah.
answered the question about 50 bazillion times. How do I
Well,
shoot slow motion? And
now,
then
now, see, that's a funny thing because I make a point of telling people in my class, no video. I'm not going to teach you about video. That's a whole nother class.
Hey, and
It's
furthermore,
another
Apple,
monster.
once we do shoot something, I'm on an Apple soapbox. Right. First and foremost, once we
We can
shoot
tell.
something in slow motion, let us export the damn thing in slow motion without having to buy another app.
Oh no, 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 no. They're treating you just like they
boy.
do with the still, where you shoot with the app and you apply the filter and then you drop it in Snapseed and all of a sudden the effect's gone.
And that's
And you're
bullshit.
and
Yeah.
you're like, what the hell?
I want it in slow motion. I want to see it exported in slow motion no matter where I send it.
And Apple,
Yeah.
why can't you not put out a product that you don't have to take it back to the Apple Store 3 or 4 times to get it finally working, especially if it costs over $3,000?
You guys with your fancy Mac Pros, go away.
Spare me.
That's rich people
Spare
problem.
me.
That's
I've
right.
had it happen to
That's
the
that is a
I've had-
first world problem to the nth degree.
Yeah.
and I've had it happen to the first
Jeez.
generation MacBook Pro Retina.
Yeah.
They just-
again. First,
Again,
shoot me, please. Jeez. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up here on that note, gentlemen. We'll like I said, congratulations to Mr. Fenderly earlier, and we look forward to your challenge. I'm gonna
Mr.
allow-
King, that's where you're supposed to hit the applause button. You're messing
Yeah,
up. Son.
Thanks. Just slash. We'll go through and let you guys do your little sign off. We'll start out with Mr. Black on the Mac.
Everybody, thank you so much for listening to my Apple rants this week. I will be in Arroyo Grande at the Strawberry Festival, enjoying myself this weekend. If you guys are out there, come by and say hi on Pismo Beach. Other than that, you can find me right. Oh, it's backwards now.
Yeah,
Here,
it's
a blackonamac.com, a black on a Mac on Twitter or any of your favorite social networks, including Google+. Thank you guys for joining us as always.
No doubt. Next up, Mr. Mike Sweeney, who's sharing a picture.
Hey, this is my closing shot for the day. This is where I was this weekend, downtown Los Angeles. This was shot from the 11th story of the Standard Hotel, a very hipster-esque vintage hotel.
Nice.
And this was the 11th story, looking down, shot with Pro HDR, literally holding the phone up to the glass and going for a long exposure.
Beautiful.
This is some of the fun you can have with apps in an iPhone.
Very
Beautiful.
pretty.
So you can enjoy that. You can find me at msmedia.me. I've got pictures posted, blogs up there. You can find my books up there. And you can always find me in the Twitterverse at Light and Images.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Next up, Mr. Robert Knight, who's also sharing a picture.
Remind everybody, don't be afraid to post edit.
Is it true? Crop it down and you got 2 shots.
Don't be afraid to crop. That's a good rule to have.
Yeah.
Ooh, a DeLorean.
Alright, so that's one of.
I can't hear you, Robert.
He's
Two of two.
smuggling.
There we go.
Yeah, look at that. That's two different shots there. Go back to the first one. Yeah. Much better on 2.
And that was actually done with Perfect Effects 8.
Yep. Hope you didn't miss the
posted
freebie.
about that earlier in the weekend. I was able to get it for free.
A lot to be said for free.
Oh, y'all got the free one? I didn't even see that. Damn it.
Hey, I posted it for all to see. The fact that
Yeah.
people come by and look.
That's
I
all
grabbed
on me. It's all on me.
And Mr. Sweeney,
Yes,
you were
sir.
hanging out in Annette Holland's neighborhood.
I am.
Yeah.
You were.
Or I were. Down LA. Hey,
Put your picture back up.
she did not come and see me at my show.
Ooh, shame on you and that.
Hey, we got to support each other in the community, y'all.
If you look down by, where the Citibank building is?
Yep.
See that
See the
art
red
that's down
statue?
there?
Yep.
Yep.
She took a picture of that in the
That red
community.
statue. She
Did
sure
she?
did.
Well, there you go.
At lunch.
Oh, just down the street.
Oh, wow.
LA's got some fabulous places to shoot during the day and the evening. without a
Bang.
doubt.
That
And
really
and
gives
anyone
another
listening,
perspective of how
yeah,
tall that is, too.
anyone listening, you need to come by the community because I put up some other pictures from the hotel I was at and the bar they have up on the 12th floor with the pool, and it's interesting. I'll leave it at that. I didn't
Also,
take any
reminder,
pictures of the wildlife up there.
this Saturday is the weekend edition.
Yep.
If
All
you haven't
right.
submitted your photo edit yet, make sure you get that in. Don't forget to vote. And don't forget about planes, trains, and automobiles, which is the theme for the month.
Yep.
Which I've missed out on for a good bit because now I'm on note number 3.
Is that what PTA means?
Yes, PTA, not Parent Teacher Association, plane, train, and
What the
automobiles.
heck is PTA?
You
Okay,
gotta go
now
back to
I was thinking, why do I want a picture of the PTA? Yeah.
That's one boring shot. Jeez.
Hey,
Where do we find you at, Mr. Robert?
You can find me on 500 Pics, and you can find me on Google Plus.
Speaking of
I'm on
fanboy,
Twitter, but really, I only use Twitter as a news feed, so you won't hear a peep from me really there.
No doubt. All right.
And also, don't forget to support the fellow community members that are participating in the reflection shot. Vote, vote,
Yes,
vote
go vote
every
for
single
us.
day.
You can
Yeah,
do it
yeah,
every day, just like you said. Go vote for us.
doesn't cost
Thank
you a
you as
penny.
always. All right.
Beer is appreciated.
Mr. King. You
Oh.
ready?
Yeah, I can be found on the Twitter anywhere. It's Michael King 4023, and I was trying to find something to sound off with, but the heck, I can't find my train stuff.
Aw.
That's all right. You get us back next go round.
But,
All right.
oh my!
I
at least
heard that.
what?
Oh God, I'm gold. I'm gold.
At least I'm not wearing. I'm wearing a decent shirt, not a pink shirt like somebody is wearing.
real men wear pink, Mr.
No,
King.
I'm going to side with Portis because damn it, I look good in pink.
Exactly. It's a
That's
black
not
shirt.
his shirt. That's his girlfriend's shirt.
This is
No, it's somebody
Now, see,
else.
we're gonna have to start having themed podcasts where we all wear the same color.
You think?
Who wore it?
Yeah.
Hawaiian night, you know.
We should
Oh, I
do
don't
a
have,
who
any, I
wore
don't
it
have any
better.
wine shirts yet.
All right. I'm going to
I'm
sign
not Larry
off.
Durker.
I am Ant Pruitt. Excuse me as I cough into the mic. Sorry about that. I'm Ant Pruitt. You can find me here on Google Plus as well as on Twitter under I Have No Life. I play in both
Except
networks. There's different content on either one. You know. Check us out in the community. If you're curious about the community, just give me a shout. And we'll go through and just check out your profile and make sure you're fit. You know what I mean? Thank you for all of the community members here for joining us tonight, and thank you for the community in general just for being who they are and sharing the tips and tricks and resources and different articles and how-tos and whatnot to make us better, and even sharing stuff like, hey, this app is free today, go get it, even though I missed it. Appreciate that. And I'm trying to get a little bit better on member management as far as booting out the people that are, stale and just sort of sitting around, not doing anything or not contributing. So if you're in the community, we appreciate you contributing. Thank you very much. Thank you to the viewers that's been watching us tonight. We appreciate folks watching the live feed, and thank you for everybody that shares this rerun after this broadcast goes off the air. Next week, we'll see you about the same time, 9 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to get better at that, too. So check
Okay,
us
Leo.
out here on Google Plus and on YouTube, and subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you very much, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace out.